And you're sure he's dead?
I wouldn't make any of this up if I wanted to, Green. I saw him. He was killed by whatever the hell that thing was back there.
Look, I'm not disregarding what you're saying here, dude, but I just find it a little hard to believe that an out-of-time synced person, or whatever the hell he was, managed to die just like that.
You think I don't know that? Even the new toy that he gave me didn't even work on that thing.
The problem was the only line of defense we had. I mean, sure, we're beefing up everything over here, but he was the heavy hitter. The heaviest hitter. What are we supposed to do?
There's gotta be something we can do. Anything.
Well, actually, there is one thing that I can do. It's the only thing left.
You're joking, right? You're gonna do a review when we're in the middle of a crisis right now?
Look, Yemi, it's the only thing to get my mind off of things right now. And this is the last thing I need to take a look at for this year. And I don't want to break tradition, so can you just lay off and let me calm down the way I want to calm down?
Whatever.
Thank you. Just sit over there and play with Gotchaignitor or something.
Fine, whatever. Me and Gabi right here will have plenty of fun. Ain't that right, Gabi? Ain't that... You bit me!
Hey everyone, Gotchaignitor1290 here, and today we're going to be taking the EXGotcalibur and all of the add-ons included for that year's toy line. This is the big one, folks, so strap in. But first and foremost, let's take a look at the driver itself. First impression for me is that it's a very basic brick of a driver, nothing too crazy about it going on, but then after physically owning it, there's quite the design choice with all the greeble and clear plastic parts, as well as the black base, trans orange, and metallic yellow to break up the color scheme. There's also these nice tubes and beakers designs, as well as the arrows that don't go unnoticed. This is by far the most intricately designed rider belt that could scan up to 100 plus cards, but the cards that come with the toys, however, though, is still a big number. Between all the items seen in this video, there's going to be 18 cards included. However, in terms of demos, I'm going to be demoing the 11 combos that have physical suits that were seen in the show and the Hyper Battle video. So let's turn this on and henshin. Aside from the design choice being thought out, the cards add a little bit of extra flair to the toy's aesthetics, with the card backs making up a face of the form between the two matched cards, which I think is a unique way to play considering the 26 forms out of the first 100 cards in the main toy line itself. And there's so much more programmed in. The level 10s also have their unique sounds as well. And of course, Legend Riders have their own unique combinations too. Even the Phase Zero cards have their own combinations as well. Even the pre-order bonuses are included. Super Sentai is also accounted for. And Superhero Time as well. While vast in its exclusivity, not every driver is perfect by any means, as the mechanisms for the active and standby modes could potentially ruin your cards if you're not careful. Another thing is the card screener gimmick, because sometimes it will work and other times it won't. It honestly depends on how you insert the card in.
That's not what I wanted.
And in my case, during filming for some of these segments, have low batteries and thus have to refilm whole segments for this review, because when this thing has low batteries, the card scanning gimmick doesn't really want to work. While minor complaints and a few nitpicks here and there, it's still a very solid toy compared to last year's with how frustrating it can be to operate, and it is easier and more compact as well. However, though, this is a full-on review of everything that can be included with this driver. So, with that being said, let's move on to our first item. The EXGotcalibur, as you can see, is the second mainline sword weapon, but also acts as the first quarter power-up for the year, taking notes from Saber, making a sword-based driver add-on. The functionality with this is to use the level 10 Chemies the best of their ability. As you can see, it's a very bulky add-on to the driver itself, making it slightly hefty in the process. And one flaw with this is the release tab, as it feels like you're breaking the driver when trying to pry it off. The other add-ons don't have this issue, thank God, but the main glaring issue is the cards themselves, because sometimes when you push the handles on the standard driver, the cards will pop up slightly. So if you're not careful when you're using this thing, you could potentially ruin the tops of your cards, considering the fact that there's no opening for you to scan them in on the driver. Another thing is that the sounds for the super modes for the level 10 Chemies are interchangeable between two jingles. Which is a bit lazy in my opinion, but the inclusion of cards like X Assembled are programmed in, which somewhat make up for it. And of course, Crosshopper and Tenliner are here too. And of course you can unlock finishers in the sword mode too, whether level 10 or not. Overall, it's a very awkward sword toy, but for the first driver add-on, it's a pretty decent start. However, the next one is a definite major improvement. The Gotchaignitor hit the scene shortly after the debut of the Super Mode. The Igniter itself being this big engine block that has butterfly-like wings to signify its increase in power between the two users of this very unit, with two features in mind, one being a power-up for Fire Gotchard, and the main driver for the Valve Rider form. In the show, Mad Wheel transmutates into Mach Wheel to signify the change in Spanner's character arc. Of course, however, though, let's start with Fire Gotchard. As you can see, it follows the same design philosophy with the Calibur by giving the face of the Rider combo a unique addition, this time in the form of fire around the goggles and the eyes to really signify the enhanced power of the form itself, as it screams at you. It's also lighter and not as bulky, making it easier to handle and play around with, and the energetic sounds apply to all the forms in the driver itself that can read. And as a unique touch, you can change between Fire Gotchard and Valve with the flip of a switch. So let's demo that. Unlike the main rider, Valvered's driver face is loud and proud and almost like a bit of an engine block with a metallic silver finish, which doesn't break up the design of the Igniter itself, and to make the Valvered driver stand out against its predecessor, it utilizes both categories of vehicle and occult, using the matching numbers of each category to make customs. However, the drawback to this is that not all of the program sounds were made into the show. And of course, the movie exclusive forms are programmed in too. Overall, it's a huge step up, and sure, my critiques are minor, but generally, this is a huge improvement to the first add-on. However, the next add-on is a bit flustering. The Majesty driver was the first P-Bandai exclusive toy for this year, and it's a frustrating choice given the fact that Majesty is our secondary rider for this year, and of course this does continue the trend with the secondary rider's main items being hard to find. The driver unit itself is casted in this crystal-like colored plastic with a pearl white detailing with the golden and orange trim. And included was also the High Alchemist ring, our second foray into ring-based rider gimmicks with an actual ring attachment that can fit my fingers. Also, comparing it to the other rings in my collection, it's definitely a more stylized design compared to the bulky yet unique wizard rings. Like Valvered, Majesty's driver utilizes matchups of the Cosmic and Fantasy Chemy categories, the highest ranking and the hardest to control Chemys by the show's own lore. Yet another example of a driver add-on that actually has a less bulky design quirk and feels like a big piece of gemstone that became a rider belt, with a black screen that lights up beautifully with two different screens that the light can hit with its rainbow color assortment. And to add to this, all of this is controlled by the magnet sensors on the unit via the ring, meaning the finishers and changes can only be made via the ring. Of course, there are official forms that can be unlocked in this toy. However, it has the same problem of forms never seeing the show at all, like with the last driver unit. The fact that Gotchadragon was never seen on screen to me was baffling. And of course, this does have another user in the Majesty driver, this being Kamen Rider Wind. And for the fun of it, let's demo another form here. And of course, the driver can't scan the standard combos for the standard Gotchadriver. However, though, with two different driver sounds overlapping, it can be a bit hard to hear from time to time, which is the only glaring flaw that I have. Well, that and I wish the Majesty driver itself had a bit darker color choice for its transparent plastic to hide the wiring, but it's an honest nitpick compared to what I just mentioned. As frustrating as this release was, it's not a bad toy, but I just wish it was easier to find for most people. Moving right along, we We now have Tenliner and Crosshopper, the evolution of Hopper 1 and Steamliner when all of the Chemys were taken by Grion and the Abyss sisters to open up the door of Ouroboros. As you can see, they're more detailed than their original forms, indicating their metamorphosis into who they are now, with Tenliner being upgraded from a goods engine to an express engine with gold and trans blue sparkly plastic. And Crosshopper went from a regular hopper to supersonic with a bright trans yellow body and some trans blue sparkle plastic like with Tenliner, and some metallic maroon paint on both the eyes and the X on his chest. Of course, since these were bought in a set, you can do the ride-along as seen in the show. The toys also have various voice phrases too. Now let's see how they play. As you can see, the face of the driver is now obscured, and adds a more intimate experience with the Chemys themselves. It's a bit, well, lopsided, and the driver doesn't get fully covered by the wings, but what this lacks in design, it makes up for in playability. Because this toy actually has unique finishing moves when it comes to scanning the cards. There's also no limit to the ride-along finishers as well. And of course, there are voice clips when inserted into the driver. Now let's move on to the next evolution. Much like with the ride-along finishes, it also has its own unique set of finishers when you scan 2 cards in at once. While it is a bit hard on the ears when the units and the drivers fight over the speakers, the general point comes across that this is a very powerful stage in Gotchard's forms. And of course, the Chemies themselves also work as functional toys too, so if you insist on a decent experience, I'd recommend it. But for now, let's move on to the last and final add-on for the Gotchadriver.
Chemy Nijigon was the final form item for that year, and is not only the most emotional 3 episodes I've ever had to watch in my life, but is worthy of the final form title, as it took the intimate experience from Tenliner and Crosshopper and amped it up to 11. This big boy may be hollow, but it is detailed well and has a lovely color combination of orange and blue and rainbow for the eyes and back scales. And the Rainbow Madness goes into the cards as well, with a very unique design choice for the front and the back. But we'll talk more about that later. But for now, let's see what he has to say. And how he plays. I'm actually glad the design philosophy stayed with the final form item and continued the trend of adding more detail to the rider face on the driver via this big rainbow screen. Sure, it's obscured, but it works well because the face is actually more prominent on the driver itself now. It's not too bulky, not too loose, not too hefty, and it's the perfect balance. Now for the compatibility with the cards.
Nijigon has a very unique ability called the Gotcha Brothers, which allows the rainbow clones of Chemy fusions to come out and aid the hero as a special squadron, and even says the fusion names, which is actually kind of impressive. Well, I say kind of, but the Legend Riders don't get their combo names called out, which is a bit of a shame, but hey. And of course, the movie exclusive forms are included. Finally, we have some voice phrases too. There's hardly any negatives I can say about the boy, as by my standards at least, it's the perfect final form toy for this lineup, and it's the perfect example on how to do a little monster do for a rider driver. And with all of that, genuinely though, all of the driver add-ons from this year have been unique, and was an honest first for rider. Sure, some of these add-ons weren't exactly perfect, and each of them do have their own flaws and unique traits to them, but the general idea behind a driver add-on that enhances the card scanning experience is something that I find very unique and enjoyable to say the least. Whereas with past card gimmick lines where the cards are sort of an afterthought and just sort of sit there while the main toy itself does all the action, this one actually does something new and does something unique and actually has more intimate experiences with the cards that are included with the toys. While there are divided opinions between Gotchard as a whole, both show and toy line wise, my personal opinion, Gotchard is probably one of my favorite riders in all of Reiwa. And that's only by a close second because Saber was my all-time favorite for quite a while. If you could find anything from Gotchard for a really good price, I highly recommend it. And of course, if you can't find all of the cards, there is AliExpress that gives you plastic card models that essentially function the way the regular cards do. But with all that being said though guys, this has been everything released in the DX driver format for Kamen Rider Gotchard. And with all that being said, this is Gotchaignitor reminding you to stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Gotchaignitor signing out.
Alright, that was a time and a half, but damn, that felt good. Didi!
Is she dead?
No, but she's shut down. Her core memory might still be intact.
What are you doing?
Putting her in stasis. That way, when I reboot her, she won't lose any of her core functionalities, and her memory banks will still be intact. Okay, that should do it.
This time, they crossed the line.
If it's a fight they want, they're gonna get one. Count on it.